Hi, my name is Karthik, the founder of Free Your Voice Live. In this video and the series, I'm going to help you start your podcast, grow your show, and create your brand. When I started podcasting, I re-recorded my first episode for over 200 times. I had to find out practically every single thing, how to use the tools, how to go about editing my episodes to remove the ums and ahs and the background noise. Oh gosh, there was so much to creating a show that I was frankly quite overwhelmed. And I don't want that to happen to you. That's why in this video and in this series of videos, I want to help you start your podcast without any of these overheads. In my experience of having created my podcast and that for many other brands, I realized the importance of processes, tools, and techniques. My promise to you in this video and in this series is to share all those processes, tools, and techniques with you so you can reap the benefits of podcasting. Speaking of benefits, most podcasters spend so much of time creating their podcast that they just don't get enough time to spend on reaping the benefits of the show that they just created. They spend hours and weeks at length trying to find the right microphone, finding the guest to interview, trying to interview, edit, record, do all of that they just don't have the energy and time left to actually reap the benefits of creating that show on the first place. A podcast is a very powerful tool, and I hope you'll consider using your podcast to create a brand, grow your business, or maybe something else. And that's why I want to introduce you to the 4 C's of starting a podcast. And they are concept, creation, communication, and commerce. In the rest of this video, I want to walk you through each one of them. Come, let's jump right in. Let's start with the concept. The concept is the idea of the show. Simply put, what is your show about? Who is your target audience? What makes your show interesting for your target audience? And finally, who are the people that you will bring on the show? And at this point, it's also a great idea for you to consider having a placeholder name for your podcast. I'm going to be sharing quite a few worksheets and tools with you in this video. So go to freeyourvoice.live/start podcasting to get access to them all right away. Alright, so let's get back to our 4 C's. The second C in the 4 C's is create. And creation goes all the way from planning your podcast to publishing and distributing your podcast to podcasting directories. Now let's look at each one of them a little closely. Let's look at planning first. Planning is one of the most important stages of creating your podcast. This is when you put together everything that you need to do in order to create your podcast, publish it, distribute it, market it, all of that. But more importantly, this is where you capture all the interdependencies. When should you sign up for that podcast host? Or when should you buy that microphone? Or for that matter, when should you submit your podcasts to Apple Podcasts? Now don't worry, I've got you covered. Go to freeyourvoice.live/start podcasting and download the ready-made plan that I have created for you. Now, if you're like most podcasters, chances are that you're looking for microphones to buy. You're probably going to review sites, going to Amazon and browsing the endless listing of microphones. Stop doing that because I've got you covered. In the next minute, I'm going to help you pick your microphone.
Microphones are made for various different kinds of purposes. Some of them are made for completely indoor purposes. Some of them are made for more casual conversations with your laptop. And some of them are made for studio quality recordings, while some others are made for completely outdoor uses where there is high ambient noise and all of that. Now, when it comes to your podcast, it is important for you to understand what kind of podcast is yours going to be. Is it going to be indoors? Is it going to be outdoors? Is it going to be inside a studio, or is it going to be inside your house? You could end up browsing microphones for hours together, but I want to help you make up your mind. Given my experience of having worked with a bunch of podcasters and brands, there are a couple of ways to go about picking the right microphone for your podcast. And I want to show that to you in the next 30 seconds. So when it comes to choosing your microphone, it's important for you to pick that based on a couple of important parameters. The first one being cost and the second one being quality. So we have a couple of axes here. So you have low cost, high quality, and then high cost, high quality. And then comes the high cost, low quality options, and finally the low cost and low quality options. You definitely don't want to go for the high cost and low quality option because that doesn't make any sense. When it comes to low cost and high quality, I highly recommend you pick the Audio Technica ATR 2100X. And then on the high cost, high quality, there are a couple of options: High PR40 and Shure SM7B. Now, when it comes to the low cost and low quality options, there are a bunch of microphones that you can find on Amazon. While I don't really recommend you pick up something like that, I do highly recommend you pick up a low quality, low cost microphone if you are just trying to test your interest with podcasting. I hope that was helpful. Let's jump back into our main topics.
Recording, editing, publishing, and distribution. This is what scares most podcasters. But I want to take the next few minutes to show you the entire process so you know that it feels like a child's play. Well, not exactly, but how about shrinking a week to a day? You'll get it. Let me jump into my laptop and show you how.
I'm here inside Zencaster. Let's create a new episode, give it a name, episode 1, and click create. And boom, you're inside the recording studio. Now, all I need to actually do is start recording by hitting the record button, but let me invite someone. So use this to put someone's email address or copy the invite link directly and send it to them. Let's jump right into Descript. So this is the tool. Let's create a new composition. This is essentially your recording. Call it test episode and do a couple of things really quick. One is to add my microphone, which is the audio recording. And then I also need to add the guest microphone. So I've selected my microphone, which is the USB audio codec, and then the computer's audio because Zencaster is actually being recorded inside the computer. So that's it. We're all ready. Now, all I need to do is to go ahead and start recording inside Zencaster. And here I am. Let me turn on the recording here. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is amazing. You know what I'm doing here? Can you take a wild guess?
Mm, Making a list of your new guests that you want to interview.
No, no. I'm actually playing with a couple of tools here, and these are podcasters' tools. One is a software through which I'm connecting with you. It's called Zencaster, and there is another software that I've bumped into recently. It's called Descript,
Okay.
and it's interesting that it's actually transcribing whatever I speak as I am doing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a different conversation for another day. Uh, what kind of podcasts you've been listening to of late?
Of late, the one is what you suggested, the Pirate History podcast. I've been enjoying that a
Hmm.
lot. The other thing I listen to is Scandalous Beauty. It's a beauty and makeup audio show. I quite enjoy that as well.
Interesting. What makes you go back to these shows more than any other ones?
Uh, the first thing, obviously, is I'm interested in those subjects, and the
Hmm.
audio quality is simply amazing.
It's crazy. I can't help but get distracted with what I'm seeing in front of my eyes. Everything that you are speaking is actually being transcribed as you speak right in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah. This I can't just tell you how crazy editing, crazy and easy that my whole editing can get if I can actually get to use something like this. Anyways, that's a topic for another day. But for now, thank you for helping me do this whole demo.
Sure, my pleasure.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, so let's do a few things. Stop the recording first so that we're done with the episode and Zencaster can actually start to process. So it has now created a MP3 file of my audio and my guest audio separately. I can download these MP3 files, but you know what? We have the entire recording inside Descript. So let's quickly do some housekeeping stuff. So let's rename the tracks so that you can see a neat transcript. Let's now play and see how it's come out. Recording here. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is amazing. You know what I'm doing here? Can you take a wild guess?
Mm,
Okay.
Making a list of your new guests that you
No,
want to interview.
no. I'm actually playing with a couple of tools here, and these are podcasters' tools. One is a software through which I'm connecting with you. It's called Zencaster, and there is another software that I've bumped into recently. It's called Descript, and
Okay.
it's interesting that it's actually transcribing whatever I speak as I am doing it. That was a pretty good one, wasn't it? Let's show you the power of Descript really quick. Let me go and edit this out. Remove that And now let's see how this sounds. This is amazing. You know what I'm doing here? Can you take a wild guess? Okay.
Making a list of your new guests that you
No.
want to interview.
No. I'm actually playing with a couple of tools here. And let's remove this as well. No. I'm actually playing with a couple of tools here, and these are podcasters' tools. One is a software through which I'm connecting with you, which is called Zencaster. And there is another software that I've bumped into recently. It's called Descript. And
Okay.
it's interesting that it's now I'm actually tempted to remove the rest of the ums and ahs too. Let's do that really quick. But do note that it takes a lot of time to do this, doesn't it? Let's quickly see how this sounds now. It's called Descript.
Okay.
And it's interesting that now removing ums and ahs can take a lot of time. So there is a utility here to remove your filler words. Let me try that really quick here. So you see that it's identified an or a ah and it's deleted it. But let's do something really crazy. Let me undo all of these edits that I made really quick and show you how you can do all of this with just that one click instead of you having to go through all the ums and ahs. So there you go. It's identified all the ums and ahs, and there you go. All the 7 of them have been deleted. No. I'm actually playing with a couple of tools here, and these are podcasters' tools. And now that you have a full edited episode, you can go and publish this, and there you go. You can give it a name if you want to change the name. You can do that and click on publish, and just wait a second, and then you're going to see this window show up where you can actually publish it, on Descript, or you can actually publish it in one of those places that they have ready made for you. The one we are interested is Buzzsprout. So let me click, and that should take me to Buzzsprout. Let me sign in really quick. And what happens now is magical. You just need to click that one button, and Buzzsprout actually goes to Descript, picks your episode, brings it on to Buzzsprout straight off. You don't need to do anything. And once it's in, just click edit and make the changes to the title, the description, the artwork, and everything that you will have to do for your podcast, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now you see that Buzzsprout doesn't just have your episode, but your transcript. You can add some chapter markers, and also you can create easy visual sound bites. And what a wonderful experience this is. You have your transcript, which can now be searched on Google, and of course, it adds a lot of good things other than that too.
So what are the tools I used to show you the entire process end to end? Well, the first tool was Zencaster. This is the tool I use for recording remote interviews. The second tool I used was Descript. This is the tool that helps you do super quick editing just like Google Docs. And finally, the third tool is Buzzsprout, which is where I host my podcast, and I highly recommend you pick these 3 tools for your podcasting toolset. In case you're looking to pick any one of them, go to freeyourvoice.live/Zencaster or freeyourvoice.live/Descript or freeyourvoice.live/Buzzsprout. I must tell you that these are affiliate links, and if you use these links, I will be paid a small sum, and that money I use directly to help create more videos like this for you. Now it's totally your call to use these tools, but if you do choose to use them, I really appreciate you for using these links. Most podcasters spend weeks, if not months, in the creation of the show and celebrate victory when they launch their podcast. Well, I made that mistake too. And I don't want you to do the same. That's why we have the third C, which is communicate. And at this stage, I would like you to focus on your marketing communication. And I get it, there are hundreds of ways to promote your podcast. And that's why I want to introduce you to podcast stores. Well, simply put, podcast stores is nothing but being a guest on podcasts in and around your niche, your industry, or your topic. And there is more to it than randomly looking for podcasts to be a guest on. And that's why I have put together a couple of things for you. The first thing is I put together a complete training to help you find all the podcasts in and around your topic, your niche, or your industry so you can pitch them to be a guest on. The second is this tool called Podmatch. It's a tool that uses artificial intelligence to help you find the podcast that you can be a guest on. Go ahead to freeyourvoice.live/podmatch and try this for free. Well, podcasting is a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of new people, you get to build your network, build your brand, but podcasting takes a lot of time and money. It could be to pay off those subscriptions to tools, your time, or maybe something else. And which is why I want to talk about the fourth C, which is commerce. While podcasting itself may not pay the bills, you can use your podcast to pay its own bills. So in this final section, I'd like to throw in this idea that it's important for you to monetize your podcast. Monetizing your podcast itself isn't hard. Here are 3 ways you can go about monetizing your show in order of effectiveness and ease of use. First, use patrons to support your show. If you've done the first 3 C's right, you already have a growing set of listeners that love your show. Ask them to support your show. I highly recommend you using Patreon if you're considering going this direction. The second way to monetize your podcast is to use others' products as an affiliate. Just look around your industry or your niche and look for products that people in your target audience are actively using. Try using them yourself. And if you like them, sign up as an affiliate for those products and promote that product to your listeners. And I must mention Buzzsprout at this point. Apart from being one of the best podcast hosting platforms, they understand podcasters really well. They understand how important it is for podcasters to monetize their podcasts, which is why they have gone ahead and signed up various brands as affiliate partners. So what you can do if you are using Buzzsprout is to go and sign up with one of those brands and become an affiliate for those brands. So if you have chosen to go with Buzzsprout, go ahead and sign up for one of those brands if they align with your target audience. And finally, the third way to monetize your podcast is to promote your own products and services. And these could be information products like courses and ebooks, or it could be that you have services like consultation and coaching. All you need to do is create a discount code for your listeners and offer it to your listeners on your show. And that brings us to the end of this video. To make it easy on you, I have put together all of what I mentioned in one place so you can go and grab those tools, worksheets, and get started with your podcast. Go to freeyourvoice.live/start podcasting and get started with your podcast today. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button below. And to stay tuned to more videos like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below and click the little notification icon right next to it so you don't miss out the next video when it comes out. Until I see you with the next video, keep podcasting.